everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a moody, noir-tinged world set in 1970s Mexico City with Velvet Was the Night by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. If you're into smoky cafes, political intrigue, and characters caught between fantasy and danger, you're in for a treat. Moreno-Garcia trades the supernatural for suspense in this slow-burn mystery that's dripping with atmosphere and rich detail. In this video, I'll be breaking down the story's key themes, the complex characters, and that ever-present tension lurking beneath the surface. We'll look at how the novel captures a unique slice of Mexican history, and why Maite the reluctant heroine and Elvis the enigmatic thug might just be some of the most unexpectedly compelling characters you'll meet this year. So grab a cup of coffee, get cozy, and let's get into it. Velvet Was the Night is a slow-burning noir novel set in 1970s Mexico City, a time when the country was gripped by political unrest, corruption, and violence. Against this backdrop of government crackdowns and Cold War paranoia, the story unfolds through two alternating perspectives. Maite, a reclusive secretary, and Elvis, a reluctant enforcer working for a covert paramilitary group. Maite is a 30-something woman who lives a solitary, unremarkable life. She works as a legal secretary in an office where no one particularly notices her, and she dreads phone calls from her family. Her greatest escape is into the pages of her beloved romance comics, secret romance, where grand passion, danger, and adventure play out far from her boring reality. Meanwhile, Elvis is part of the Hawks, Los Halcones, a real historical group trained and used by the Mexican government to silence dissidents and student protesters. Despite his occupation, Elvis is far from a hardened killer. He has a soft spot for old rock records and pulp fiction novels, and he daydreams of being someone more artistic, someone with purpose. The plot kicks off when Maite agrees to watch over her upstairs neighbor's cat. That neighbor, Leonora, is everything Maite is not: young, beautiful, and politically engaged. She's also involved with a group of radical artists and activists, and when she doesn't return as planned, Maite's curiosity is piqued. Maite sneaks into Leonora's apartment, ostensibly to feed the cat, but she's really drawn to Leonora's glamorous life. Inside, she finds fragments of Leonora's world, photographs, revolutionary literature, and hints of romantic entanglements. Slowly, Maite gets pulled into a mystery far beyond her depth. At the same time, Elvis is assigned to find a set of missing photographs believed to have dangerous political implications. These photos are thought to be connected to Leonora, who's now missing. Elvis is told to recover them at any cost, but as he investigates, he becomes increasingly disturbed by the brutal tactics of his peers. Maite begins her own amateur investigation, driven partly by boredom, partly by a need for purpose, and largely by a desire to live out one of her romantic fantasy storylines. She visits cafes, asks questions, and gets deeper into circles of people tied to Leonora, often without realizing how dangerous they are. Elvis follows a different trail, through criminal contacts and other members of the activist underground. His path is grittier and more violent, but his inner world is surprisingly tender. He fantasizes about writing, listening to American music, and escaping the blood-stained life he's trapped in. Both characters circle around Leonora's world without truly understanding its stakes. Maite treats the search like a personal escape fantasy. Elvis treats it as a job, but both are drawn towards something more existential. They are both lonely, disillusioned individuals who long for connection, meaning, and transformation. As Maite gets in over her head, the reader sees how ill-equipped she is for the very noir story she seems to crave. Her lack of street smarts and knowledge of the political climate leaves her vulnerable, and her fantasies clash harshly with the gritty, violent reality she finds herself in. Meanwhile, Elvis becomes increasingly disillusioned with his role in the Hawks. His handler, a cold and calculating figure, expects obedience and results, no matter the cost. Elvis, however, begins to question not just the job, but the system that upholds it, and what kind of man it is turning him into. The tension escalates as Maite unknowingly puts herself in the path of people who would kill to keep secrets buried. Her search becomes a real threat to powerful forces, and Elvis, in turn, begins to view her not just as a suspect, but as a person one whose loneliness mirrors his own. What's remarkable is how Maite and Elvis's paths continue to intersect without ever fully converging. They are like twin souls walking on opposite sides of the same street, each haunted by isolation and longing. The noir tone is maintained, not just through plot devices, but through this emotional grayness, this sense of yearning and inertia. Silvia Moreno-Garcia paints a portrait of Mexico during the Dirty War that feels both intimate and expansive. She avoids preaching, instead weaving in history naturally through corrupt journalists, secret agents, activists, and ordinary people caught in extraordinary circumstances. The novel is both a political thriller and a character study. In the end, Velvet Was the Night doesn't offer clear-cut resolutions or tidy moral conclusions. Instead, it lingers with an atmospheric sense of melancholy. The characters don't triumph or fail in grand ways, they simply survive, changed by what they've seen and done. It's a dark, slow-burning meditation on loneliness, disillusionment, and the small rebellions we make just by trying to be more than what the world expects of us. Velvet Was the Night is not your typical fast-paced thriller. It's a moody, character-driven noir that lingers in your mind long after the final page. Silvia Moreno-Garcia doesn't just tell a mystery. She pulls us into the aching loneliness and quiet desperation of two unforgettable characters. It's a haunting, slow burn novel that rewards patience with emotional depth and political insight. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me. If you've read the book, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into powerful reads like this one. Until next time, keep reading and take care. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me. If you've read the book, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more deep dives into powerful reads like this one. Until next time, keep reading and take care.